Thomas Palladino here, just doing a brief speech on Chapter 6, Toxic Families and Culture. The section that I chose was Gender, Race, and Violence. I chose that because I feel it's kind of fitting for the current times that we're in right now with the country. And not only that, but it actually boils down to a pretty good perception of the way most of your high-profile serial killers and rapists and murderers and stuff like that, it pretty much ties into their background a great deal once you actually start looking into their records and whatnot. To start with gender, while it can affect both the male and female, for the male it's more so, especially a young, youthful male coming up, he pretty much has that feeling that it's kind of an unwritten rule that I gotta be macho, I gotta be strong, I can't be seen weak, I can't be perceived as a sissy. So they pretty much put on this image of the tough guy and not actually allowing the world to actually see them for who they are. And a lot of the times that will bottle up resentment and a lot of unnecessary anger within themselves, especially if someone sees them at that vulnerable moment. They could get angry with themselves, they could get angry with the other person, and eventually it leads to, when adulthood comes around, it actually leads them to acting out on thoughts and actions of having to maintain that perception. And switching over to race, race has a lot to do with it. Pretty much, you kind of have the radical race issues starting to come back a little bit today, like the Black Lives Matter. You keep hearing many different things about it, good, bad, positive, negative. Same thing. It just depends on kind of your views, culture views. Pretty much almost every race kind of has that one group that's been radicalized, and that's unfortunate, but it exists, and depending on how deep within the organization or their beliefs they go is depending on how aggressive the person and how loyal the person is to those thoughts and beliefs. It could go back to regular street gangs, just in general, with political style activists and stuff like that. Then switching to violence that a young child, either girl or male or female, a lot of that can tie into how they act as an adult once they actually finally go into adulthood. For example, if you have a child that had a parent that was an alcoholic, drug user, or if you had a child that had an absence of a father, some of those traits are kind of going to show towards resentment, going to be anti-establishment type deal. They're going to want to have their own authority at the same time, still wanting to have that father figure there. A lot of it can also go to the type of path that they lead towards. It is common that most rapists and whatnot, that most of them are lacking a father figure. Same, a little bit same for the serial killer as well. They're just lacking what an average child with two parents in a normal household actually has. And that's not to say that the average child might not go that path. It's just that it's more so expected for the other child with the difficult background. And a lot of other things that could come into play would be like if they see domestic violence or see one parent abusing the other, or if their mother were to have a career choice that really kind of, dabbles into prostitution or something like that, they're going to see the way that the males treat their mother, and that's going to go towards further resentment, which could create one twisted mind. And that's really all I have to say about the issue of Chapter 6.